Hi friends, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra every once in a while here on John's Briefs with Terry Johnson from Firearms Legal Protection. I like to just jump in with topics and not give them to him in advance. These are fun because they let us not have to worry about, preparation or those things. So today, I want to talk to Terry about getting your rights back if, God forbid, you get convicted of a crime.
To win the fight after the fight, you need help. After a use of force, I trust Firearms Legal Protection to help me win the fight for the rest of my life. From their 24/7 attorney-answered hotline to coverage for the use of all legal tools, Firearms Legal Protection has you covered. Get a discount by signing up at the link below.
So Terry, I know you've been through, as a criminal defense attorney, thousands of cases with people.
Yes.
A lot of felonies.
Lots.
And when you are convicted of a felony, you lose a lot.
You do. And in some states, you lose your right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Some states, you lose other things as well. And you can never get off of that because some states may not have expungements.
And you do lose your rights to possess firearms.
Absolutely.
If you're a felon or a misdemeanor domestic violence conviction. Now we can talk about whether this is right or wrong or whatever, that people that are then released from prison still have these huge consequences from having a felony record. Quite frankly, I think if you did your time, if we let you back into society, you should get your rights back. That's my own personal belief.
And I agree with that. I agree with that.
But what's the process like? If, say, for instance, like I have a friend who is a convicted felon and he's a good dude. He's actually a good dude, got his life back, but can't possess a firearm. What kind of process do you have to go through to get your rights back if you wanted to, or can you?
Well, again, it's all going to vary by state. So let me start with that. Certain states will allow you, after a certain amount of years, to possess a firearm.
So it's like an automatic reinstatement after a number of years?
Correct, on certain crimes. Okay. Now here's the key. Notice I said possess. I didn't say purchase, which are two different things.
Yeah, it's true.
So if in fact I'm allowed to possess a firearm, that means I can maybe go hunting. That means maybe I can have a gun in my house. But the problem comes down to, how do you get around the 4473?
Right. That says, are you a convicted felon?
Correct, because now I can't purchase from an FFL. And if you really think about it, so I'll get it from a private person. Here's the problem with that. If the other person knows you're a felon,
can they transfer to you?
Can't transfer it to you. And if you know you're a felon, you shouldn't be purchasing anyway. So it's one of those tricky things. The best way to do it, again, you have to find a local attorney in your state and, again, find out what the rules are. Sometimes you have to go before a board. Sometimes you have to have that expunged. Other times there's nothing you can do. It's just there for life. So it all depends. If it's a federal crime, you're going to have the President of the United States actually pardon you in order to get your firearms rights back.
Gosh, good luck on that. Obviously, even a president who's just pardon happy is only doing a couple dozen of those a year, right?
And here's the other part. It's not only a couple dozen a year, but you know how this works. How much money are you willing to give to a campaign?
Right.
Or
there's definitely
are you a
politics
friend?
involved there.
So the unfortunate part is you really have to be careful. Again, figure out where it happened. So, for example, if you're in Indiana and something happened 20 years ago in Colorado, you've actually got to go back to Colorado.
Yeah, you got to go to Colorado to get that fixed.
Right, where it happened. So you can't say, well, I live here now, or I live in a state where, hey, we can do all of this. It's actually where the initial crime happened.
Yeah. So, of course, number one thing, don't get convicted of a felony. Obviously, right? Which means hopefully you don't do those things. Now,
right.
I get it. I joke all the time. We all commit felonies in reality. And I'm not saying that you should, and I'm certainly not admitting to having committed felonies. No, that would be stupid. But you got to watch that stuff, because if you lose your rights, man, getting them back at the easiest is going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars and a bunch of heartache.
If you can get them back.
If you can get them back. So don't do stupid felonious stuff, huh? Now, Terry, obviously, you are a criminal defense attorney, and that's your specialty. So if somebody came to you and said, hey, in the state of Michigan, I am a convicted felon and I'd like to get those rights back, would you be the guy to help them?
Yes, in Michigan, a criminal defense attorney couldn't. Here's the interesting thing. I've had a couple of people, we have a kind of a unique statute, what's called specified and unspecified felonies. So if you have a unspecified felony, which means after 4 years, your rights to possess come back automatically.
Oh, okay.
If you have a specified felony that's involving drugs, assaultive crimes, or
So
anything
violence.
involving firearm, things along those lines, that's called a specified felony. You've got to wait 5 years and then go before a judge. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is.
And good luck. A judge is not spending their day seeing good people who made mistakes.
No.
A judge spends their day around bad people who've done bad things and need to get beat up for that.
Absolutely, because as a good friend of mine who's a judge has said to me, stupid has to hurt.
Stupid should hurt.
Otherwise, you're going to do it again and again. So in this particular case, I got the guy's rights back.
Oh.
However, he gets a nice letter from the ATF saying, even though your rights have been restored federally,
I mean, in Michigan.
In Michigan, I'm sorry, thank you. Even though your rights have been restored in Michigan, federally, you're still not allowed to possess, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what do you do in that case?
Well, I mean, obviously, if the feds are going to come and kill your dog, what are you going to do, right? So that's.
So even though you may get your state rights back to possess, that doesn't necessarily mean that the feds are going to come rolling in and saying, great job, John, we're glad you're going to be a good gun-carrying guy again. Thank you.
So this is a mess. I just wanted you to know what the process looks like in its generalness. It's another great reason to avoid felonies. Don't do them, because when you do, this stuff happens. Thanks for the info, Terry.
Thank you.